Hey everyone, welcome to our channel. Today, I'll tell you about a movie where a captain takes people out to see sharks up close in the ocean, but none of them ever come back. If you enjoy it, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Greg and Heather decide they want to see sharks up close in the ocean, so they show up unannounced at the dock, hoping to get on the only boat that offers that experience. But when they arrive, they find out the captain isn't there. An old man tells them the ship's captain is going on vacation and wouldn't cancel it for anyone. Just then, Captain Tucker shows up, delighted to see two new customers. With a serious tone, Tucker warns them they'd better have their wills ready because swimming near sharks is extremely dangerous. When he sees their frightened faces, he bursts out laughing and says he was only joking. They board the boat and it sets off. On the way, Tucker shows them a scar on his body from a shark attack years ago.
It's not the shark's fault.
Heather gets nervous and starts doubting if she wants to go through with it. Tucker stops the boat so they can change into swimsuits. The moment Heather sees the first shark, she screams and panics. She changes her mind and says she doesn't want to do it anymore, but Tucker reassures her that they'll be fine. He places them inside a cage and lowers it underwater. When Heather sees the number of sharks, she starts to panic again. The sharks keep swimming close to the cage and she feels trapped. Eventually, Greg calms her down and they both start enjoying the view beneath the surface. It turns into an amazing experience for both of them. When Tucker pulls the cage back onto the boat, they're both excited until Greg steps out of the cage and Tucker suddenly drives a knife into his neck, tossing him into the sea.
Welcome aboard.
Recap camp.
A man named Moses is dealing with a dead car battery and searching everywhere for jumper cables, but he can't find any. A customer named Zephyr leaves a store, pulling something she shoplifted from inside her drink cup and heads toward her car, running into Moses. Zephyr says she doesn't have jumper cables, but when Moses sees Zephyr's van, he's certain she's lying. Moses jokingly suggests that maybe the store owner would like to review the security camera footage unless Zephyr gives him a lift to his own car and lends him the cables. Zephyr agrees, on the condition that Moses stays quiet the entire way. When they get to Moses's car, Zephyr realizes Moses is rich. She spots surfboards in the back of Moses's vehicle and they start chatting. Moses manages to start his car, and a song from Zephyr's favorite band starts playing on Moses's stereo. They both realize they like the same music. The conversation flows, and Zephyr ends up parking her van in Moses's yard. They spend the night together in the van, have sex, and fall asleep. Near morning, Moses heads into the house to make breakfast, but when he returns, the van is gone. Zephyr has parked near a beach and is preparing to surf when she realizes one of her tools is missing. She approaches a parked pickup truck to check its bed for the tool, and the owner, Tucker, catches her. Tucker gives her what she's looking for and tells her to keep it. He's got plenty more. Then Tucker drives away. Zephyr gets a text from Moses saying he wants to spend more time together. While Zephyr is busy texting, Tucker sneaks up, throws a sack over her head, and restrains her. Zephyr struggles as hard as she can, but Tucker holds the bag tight until Zephyr suffocates and passes out. Tucker checks his surroundings to make sure no one saw him, then goes to Zephyr's van and takes a surfboard from inside. He stuffs Zephyr into a suitcase in the back of his truck and tapes her mouth shut. The next morning, Moses finds Zephyr's van, but there's no sign of her. When Zephyr regains consciousness, she finds herself lying on a bed, handcuffed to it. Heather is there too. Zephyr starts shouting, but she doesn't know where she is, and no one is going to hear her. Tucker is calmly eating his meal nearby. Zephyr starts searching the bed for something like a hairpin to pick the lock on her cuffs, but instead spots a name carved into the wall, realizing they're not the first people to be here. Meanwhile, Moses sees a tow truck taking away Zephyr's van, so he rushes to the police station to report her missing, though he doesn't even know Zephyr's last name. Zephyr tries to break free, but she isn't successful. When she notices Heather's bra is wired, she quickly takes it off and tosses it to her. She removes the metal underwire, but just as she does, the door opens and she hides it under her pillow. Tucker comes in with food. He gives Heather a glass of water, which she downs completely. Tucker grows suspicious of why she's holding the blanket so high, but Zephyr calls him over, saying it's her turn for dinner, distracting him. Zephyr sets her plate on the bed and drinks her water to the last drop. When Tucker leaves, Zephyr tosses the bra back to Heather and starts picking the lock, but her vision blurs. She gets dizzy and sees Heather already passed out. She collapses too, and when Tucker returns, he finds the underwire. That night, Zephyr wakes up tied to a chair. Heather is still unconscious, bound with a rope. Tucker readies his camera for filming. When Heather finally wakes up, Tucker takes control of a crane arm and lifts Heather up, swinging her out over the water. Both Heather and Zephyr beg him not to do it, but Tucker keeps going until she's lowered into the ocean. Tucker moves behind his camera as the sharks close in and attack her. She thrashes helplessly until she dies. The night's show is over.
Tell me that ain't the greatest show on earth.
And Tucker drags Zephyr back to the room. Zephyr knows tomorrow is her turn. Hopeless and certain of her death, she carves her name into the wall alongside the others and cries. Upstairs, Tucker throws himself a proper little party. The next morning, after surfing, Moses finds a broken surfboard, one he immediately recognizes from seeing it in Zephyr's van. Tucker brings Zephyr breakfast, but she kicks the tray with her foot. Once Tucker leaves, she grabs the bucket he'd left for a toilet, rips off the handle, and snaps it in half to use as a weapon. Upstairs, Tucker preps a sedative and fills a syringe. When he comes back and sees Zephyr sleeping, he quietly approaches, only for her to suddenly stab the bucket handle into his neck. Tucker collapses backward, hitting his head on the bed frame and passes out. Zephyr grabs his keys, unlocks her cuffs, and makes a run for it. Tucker comes to just as she's trying to lock the door. On the stairs, Tucker catches up and jabs the syringe into her leg. She kicks him square in the face. Zephyr rushes to the control room, radios for help, but no one responds. Dizziness begins to overwhelm her again. Spotting a ship in the distance, she stumbles onto the deck, screaming for help until Tucker arrives. She's barely able to stand. She grabs his camera and Tucker warns her it's extremely valuable to him, tells her to put it down. She throws it into the sea. Furious, Tucker watches as she dives overboard, but within seconds she blacks out. He drags her back aboard. Moses alerts the police, who begin searching the shoreline. Determined to find her, Moses, owner of a security camera company, tracks down footage from a camera near where Zephyr's van was last seen. In the footage, he spots a pickup truck with a distinctive image on its door, identifying it. Meanwhile, Tucker docks the boat, rushes to a store, and buys an old camera to replace the one Zephyr destroyed. But on his way back, the road is blocked, delaying him. During that time, Moses locates Tucker's boat. Finding no one aboard, he climbs onto the deck but can't get into the control room because the door is locked. Hearing a noise below deck, he smashes the control room window and unlocks the door. Following the sound, he finds Zephyr. She's shocked but thrilled to see him. She tells him there's no time to explain. She needs something like a paperclip to pick her cuffs and then call the police. Moses, with no cell reception, hurries upstairs, only for Tucker to appear and attack him. Moses' phone call to the police connects, but he can't speak. Tucker stabs him in the back with something sharp, then takes the phone and hangs up. Wounded, Moses staggers to a corner. Before Tucker can finish him off, Moses grabs something nearby and smashes it into Tucker's face. Tucker falls, and Moses tries to strangle him. Just as Tucker is about to lose consciousness, an old man appears and strikes Moses in the head with a piece of wood, saving Tucker. Hearing Zephyr's voice from below, the old man asks what's going on. Tucker kills him. He returns to the control room and starts the boat. When Moses wakes, he finds himself cuffed to a bed. Moses starts to reply, but Tucker enters. It's showtime again. He chains Zephyr back in her spot and ties Moses with rope. Zephyr tells Tucker that Moses is rich and could give him a life of luxury, but Tucker isn't interested. Moses is lowered into the water. Zephyr tells him not to move a muscle. Tucker readies his camera as sharks circle. Time passes, but they swim away without attacking. Annoyed, Tucker hauls Moses back aboard and slashes him with a knife to draw blood. Now the sharks will definitely come. Just as Tucker is about to lower him again, the sound of a helicopter approaches. Seeing a patrol chopper drawing near, Tucker drags them both back below deck. The helicopter spots the boat but finds nothing suspicious and flies off. Moses is bleeding heavily and near death. Zephyr decides the only way to save him is to break her own thumb to slip free of the cuffs. She does it but still can't pull her hand out. Desperate, she starts biting into her own finger to sever it. Tucker walks in, heads straight for the bed, and finds her gone. She'd been hiding behind the door. She bolts out and locks him inside. Tucker rushes to the room's hatch, unscrewing it to escape. Zephyr starts the boat's engine, but Tucker cuts the power at the breaker. Spotting lights along the shore, she grabs a flare gun just as Tucker arrives. She fires at him, then finds a hatch in the ceiling and tries to climb out, but her clothes snag. Tucker grabs her leg and yanks her down. She swings a frying pan, causing Tucker to stab his own hand with his knife, then smashes him in the face. She dives overboard, swimming as fast as she can. Tucker spots her with the boat's searchlight, then jumps into a speedboat to chase her. She reaches the shore, but before she can call for help, Tucker catches up and knocks her out. They return to the boat. This time, Moses is strapped to a chair. It's Zephyr's turn to die. Tucker lowers her into the water, and the scent of her bleeding finger quickly draws sharks. As Tucker watches, he realizes one of them is from one of the most powerful breeds. He begins filming the rare moment. Zephyr tries to climb back up, but the rope snaps. Dropping her into the water, a shark charges straight at her, but instead of attacking, it simply stares, then swims away. Tucker scans the water. Nothing happens. Zephyr uses the distraction to swim to the far side of the boat, climbs aboard. She quietly makes her way to the front of the boat and grabs a spear gun. When Tucker turns around, she fires, knocking him into the sea.
Ooby-dooby, motherfucker.
As he struggles to return to the boat, the sharks find him. The last thing his camera records is his own death. Moses loses consciousness from blood loss. Zephyr quickly finds another flare, climbs to the top deck and fires it. She screams for help until a passing ship, in the final moments before sailing out of range, spots them and turns back. She shouts Moses' name until he finally comes to and she's overjoyed he's still alive. And that's where the story ends. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, you know what to do.